Today's headlines: Cusi asks Indonesia to lift coal export ban. United States donates 2.7 million more Pfizer vax. NBI tracking Maritess voice clips. Philippine Coast Guard Department of Social and Weather Development aid arrives in Surigao, Dinagat. Philippines now at critical risk for COVID-19. No vax, no entry in Olongapo City. North Korea fires suspected ballistic missile. Good morning, I am Kim Sanja and this is Tribune News on Q. Today is the 11th of January 2022 and these are the latest news this Tuesday morning. The Department of Energy or DOE is pressing Indonesia to lift the coal export ban, especially to the Philippines as it threatens economies that are dependent on coal for power generation. In a letter addressed to His Excellency Afirin Tasrif, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources of the Republic of Indonesia, Energy Secretary Alfonso G. Cusi pointed out that Indonesia's recent policy will be detrimental to economies that currently rely on coal-fired power generation systems like the Philippines. On the 31st of December 2020, the Indonesian Directorate General of Mineral and Coal announced the ban for the entire month of January 2022 to avert a looming power crisis in Indonesia. Despite pushing for cleaner energy mix, the Philippines is still relying on coal-fired plants for power generation. Citing the latest government figures, Cusi said the Philippines sourced 2.3 million metric tons monthly from Indonesia to fuel the country's coal-fired power plants last year. Power generated from coal comprises about 60% of the country's power demand, Cusi stated in his letter. Cusi also furnished Department of Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro L. Locsin Jr. a copy of the letter and requested the DFA to intercede and appeal on behalf of the Philippines through the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Cooperation Mechanism. To discuss potential strategies, the DOE's Electric Power Industry Management and Energy Resource Development Bureaus will meet with the country's coal power plant generator on Tuesday. The United States, in partnership with the COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access COVAX facility, donated an additional 2,703,870 doses of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine to the Philippines as part of its relentless worldwide effort to help end the pandemic. The vaccines, which arrived in Manila Sunday, were part of the 500 million Pfizer doses the U.S. is making available for distribution through COVAX, a global initiative to support equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines. As the largest donor to the COVAX facility, the United States has facilitated the delivery of over 1 million COVID-19 vaccine doses to the Philippines, including nearly 25 million doses provided by the American people. The United States is working closely with Philippine partners to protect public health and support the local response to COVID-19. In addition to vaccine donations, the U.S. government has also provided more than $1.9 billion or $39 million in COVID-19 assistance to the Philippines to support testing, crucial care, communication campaigns, protection, and training of health workers, vaccine deployment, and essential equipment and supplies. The Department of Justice, or DOJ, has directed the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, to start tracking down fake voice clips saying the government will impose a lockdown due to the surge of COVID-19 cases amid the Omicron variant. DOJ Secretary Menardo Guevara said the order comes amid the continued sending of a voice clip about the supposed intention of the government to impose stricter protocols in the coming days. Malacanang has since dismissed an audio recording warning of a lockdown or an imposition of martial law as fake and urged the public to rely on information from credible sources. Unidentified women in the clip advises people to stock up on food and other essentials in case President Rodrigo Duterte declares another lockdown or even declare martial law. During that time, the unverified clip claims nobody will be allowed to leave the house. Tribune News on Q will be back after these short reminders.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Si Harry Roque ang pinakamagaling na spokesman, kaya inggit sa kanya ang oposisyon.
Tama lang na ipinaglaban ko ang balik trabaho para bumalik ang kita ng mga nagtatrabaho at naghahanap buhay. Hindi pwedeng magutom ang pamilya. Dapat lang po ingat buhay para sa hanap buhay. Basta trabaho, kita at hanap buhay ang nakataya. Nasa harap niyo po ako.
Ibigay natin ang tudong suporta kay Harry.
Mga impormasyong direktang makukuha mula sa sources at diretsahang usapan. Yan ang atid namin sa inyo sa programang Straight Talk. Samahan nyo kami sa makabuluhang talakayan live tuwing Martes alas 10 ng umaga sa official Facebook page ng Daily Tribune at Tribune Now on YouTube. Alamin ang latest entertainment at sa mga paborito nyong celebrities kasama si Pocholo Concepcion sa programang What's Up. Makibanding at kwentuhan kasama ang mga kilalang personalidad sa entertainment industry. Sama-sama natin silang kilalanin at silipin ang makulay nilang mundo every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Kaya sit back and relax lang kayo mga katribu. Hanapin at ilike ang Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Dahil sagot na namin ang masayang kwentuhan dito lang sa What's Up.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. Philippine Coast Guard, BRP Cape San Agustin, MRRV 4408, and the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Caraga transported 20 tons of donation to typhoon-stricken remote towns in Surigao del Norte and Dinagat Islands over the weekend. A total of 2,394 family food packs from the DSWD, 50 sacks of 50-kilogram rice and various construction materials collected by the Coast Guard District Northeastern Mindanao, and 4 boxes of assorted clean clothes from the Department of Transportation, Philippines, were loaded to BRP Cape San Agustin MRRV 4408 with the assistance from the Philippine National Police, Police Regional Office 13. Personnel of Coast Guard stations in Dinagat Islands and Surigao del Norte and Special Operations Unit, Southeastern Mindanao were deployed to distribute relief packs at Barangay Lisondra and Barangay Zaragoza in Surigao del Norte, as well at Barangay Sering, Barangay Liberty, Barangay Helen, and Barangay Magsaysay in Dinagat Islands. Moreover, BRP Cape San Agustin MRRV 4408 distributed sacks of rice to several fishermen while en route to the islands. Despite the prevailing rough sea conditions in the area, the unloading of food packs was done conveniently with the help of residents, as motor bancas were also provided to aid the PCG's rigid hull inflatable boat during the said operation. From its minimal risk classification last month, the Philippines escalated to critical risk due to exponential growth in coronavirus cases believed to be driven by the Omicron variant. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III announced on Monday that the country's risk classification had elevated to critical after seeing a massive 3,663% two-week growth rate and a 690% increase in the 7-day moving average of reported daily cases. The average daily attack rate, or the number of infected people per 100,000 population, also climbed to 10.47, he said. Also considered at critical risk are Metro Manila, Calabarzon, and Central Luzon, all of which have consistently been the top contributing regions in terms of new cases based on daily case bulletins. 8 regions, meanwhile, were classified as high risk for COVID. These include Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, Mimaropa, Bicol Region, Western Visayas, Central Visayas, and Davao Region, Eastern Visayas, Caraga, Northern Mindanao, Soc-Sargen, and the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao were deemed moderate risk, according to Duque. Zamboanga Peninsula was the sole region tagged as low risk amid the pandemic. Only a month ago, or in December last year, the entire country was put under minimal risk following a steady decline in COVID-19 cases. The escalation of regions classification came at a time when the highly contagious Omicron variant emerged as the dominant virus type in the latest whole genome sequencing run conducted by local experts. Duque noted that 29 out of the 48 virus samples tested were of the Omicron variant, which accounts for 60% of the total number of specimens. On the other hand, 18 samples were of the Delta variant. The local government here announced that it is implementing the no vaccine, no entry policy to non-residents visiting the city as a security measure amid the rising coronavirus disease 2019 cases in the country. Olongapo City Public Affairs Office Chief Anthony Bayaron disclosed that Mayor Roland Polina Jr. has also ordered the setting up of border checkpoints requiring non-residents to present proof of vaccination before they can enter the city. Olongapo City is one of the 5 areas in Central Luzon that was placed under Alert Level 3 effective the 9th to the 15th of January, while other places in the region under the same alert level are the provinces of Bataan, Pampanga, and Zambales, and Angeles City. According to the Olongapo Task Force COVID-19, active cases in the city as of the 9th rose to 202 after 63 new confirmed cases were reported, with total infection now at 5,660 to 5,141 of them declared as recovered cases. The death toll, however, is 317. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Mga katribu, tara na't makiisa at matuto sa mga public service programs hatid ng Kalingang Katribu. Tuwing Lunes, nandyan ang usapang business na magbibigay tips at inspirasyon sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs kasama sina Comfy Manalo at Vernon Velasco. Tuwing Miyerkules, usapang pangkalusugan naman ang tatalakayin ni Miss Cory Quirino sa Health and Wellness. At tuwing Biyernes naman, kung legal advice ang kailangan mo, sagot ka na ng Legal Diaries kasama si Elmer Navarro Manuel at mga guest lawyers. Lahat ng yan mapapanood tuwing alas 3:30 ng hapon sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Makinig at makisali sa usapan every Friday night at 6 p.m. sa I Speak Katribu Podcast. Samahan sina Daniel at Alvin na pag-usapan ang mga relevant topic na tiyak kakarelatean nyo mga katribu. At pagdating ng Sunday at 7 p.m., Speak Your Mind with our I Speak program na sasagot sa mga tanong regarding the latest and relevant issues sa paligid natin. I-like at i-follow nyo ang Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube para updated ka sa mga latest episode namin mga katribu.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. North Korea fired a suspected ballistic missile into the sea, South Korea's military said Tuesday, less than a week after Pyongyang reported testing a hypersonic missile. The early morning launch came as the United Nations Security Council met in New York to discuss last week's test of what Pyongyang called a hypersonic missile. The launch was also reported by Japan's Coast Guard, which said the North had fired a ballistic missile-like object. On Monday, 6 countries, including the United States and Japan, urged North Korea to cease destabilizing actions ahead of the UN Security Council closed-door meeting. France, Britain, Ireland, and Albania joined the call for North Korea to refrain from further destabilizing actions and engage in meaningful dialogue towards our shared goal of complete denuclearization. Analysts said Pyongyang might have timed the latest launch to coincide with the UN meeting. The launch has political and military motives. Shinbo Chui, a researcher at the Korea Research Institute for National Strategy, told Agence France. North Korea continues testing to diversify its nuclear arsenal, but it timed the launch on the day of the United Nations Security Council meeting to maximize its political impact, he added. The frequency of testing indicated Pyongyang could be fitting in the launches ahead of the Beijing Olympics next month, said Park Wong-gong, a professor at the EWHA Women's University in Seoul. North Korea has been barred from the Beijing Winter Olympics after skipping the pandemic-delayed Tokyo Games over COVID-19 concerns. And that wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, Araneta City, the Department of Tourism, MG Motors, Aina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Kim Sancho on Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.